JD, I was right. I was right the whole time.
Were
I
you?
had a sixth sense about it.
Listen, it was pretty obvious.
I
There's
mean,
like
yeah.
four Jedis just walking around. The chances it was gonna be him it's like it's 25%.
Yeah, I mean, that's good odds. It's good odds.
It's great odds.
And good Lord, what an episode it was.
What a journey it's been. I'm a little emotional. I'm a little shook and emotional and excited.
I think for Star Wars fans, I believe that 100% because the prequels and then the sequels have completely sort of like soured a lot of fans on like the main storyline. But now the Mandalorian's here, saving everything one step at a time, and it's just amazing.
I really like a lot of the part of the sequel trilogy, but like we say, like every week, it left a bad taste in your mouth, and it's just nice to, have something that's totally different, while that also like pays a little respect to what came before. And this episode, all like through and through, I think kind of was like a nice, hey, tip of the hat to not just like the original trilogy, but Clone Wars and that kind of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what is so great. And it's also again though doing its own thing. Can we talk about? Like, should we just get right into spoilers? I just don't know even like what to talk about.
Well, hold on. Let me recap it really quick. I'll do
Okay,
a abridged
yes.
version. Mando gets help from Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks. I don't know her character's name.
Oh, and I knew that you were probably getting when she like what was that move called with the?
She did a tornado DDT assisted by a jetpack onto Boba Fett and owned Boba Fett.
I knew like you were like probably freaking out when you saw that.
I was amped. And they go to Moff Gideon's ship and they get on, but they're told a little bit about the droids, the Dark Troopers, how they're kept in cold storage. So it takes a couple minutes for them to get
Yeah,
warmed up. And so, of course, Moff Gideon, the moment he realizes they've boarded his ship, he's like, come on, get the Dark Troopers started up. Mando splits off to go get Grogu, and the rest are a distraction. And he runs into the Dark Troopers. He manages to close the door. He fights one, and this dude gets almost killed.
thank God he had the Beskar, and like because all of his weapons destroyed except for the spear, of course, that
Yeah.
he got from Ahsoka.
He barely survives that fight with one single Dark Trooper, kicks the others off the ship, and then he goes and finds Grogu, and there is Moff Gideon, and he's like got the dark saber to Grogu's head, and he's like, "I'll do it. I swear I'll do it." And the whole time there's this theme of like from the Empire's perspective, they're the terrorists, and then vice versa. Well, not vice versa, but the Empire's the
Yeah,
bad guys to the rebels, vice versa. Moff's like, okay, you could just take him, and I can keep the dark saber. And so, like an idiot, Mando tries to go get him, gets in a fight with Moff, defeats him, gets the dark saber, which Bo-Katan wants, and then Bo-Katan sees that and it's like, well, damn, because you have to win it through battle. You can't just be given it.
and you find out that like whoever holds this saber is kind of like the leader of Mandalore, and that's her whole goal. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, you're right. It's just like, man, come on, like Mando, what are you doing?
The Dark Troopers fly back because they're droids. They don't die in space. They can live forever in space.
I was dumb and I was like, took care of those fast, and then I thought, oh yeah, they're robots.
Oh crap, we gotta fight all these Dark Troopers, and Moff Gideon is being his evil self, just being like, ha ha ha, idiots. And then you see an X-Wing approach, and for fans, you're
you
like, well,
know,
maybe. You're
you
like, well,
know,
maybe it could be someone
no,
else.
you know.
Well, yes, even I knew. But then the green lightsaber lights up, and you definitely know, but you're still like, well, maybe they're going to trick us. Maybe they're
And then,
throwing us for a loop.
and then you see
And
the
then
hand.
the hand with the glove, and he came in, and he destroyed everyone, took off his robe, hat. What is it? Cloak. He took off his
Yeah.
cloak, and it was Luke Skywalker deep faked into a Mandalorian.
Yes, and I will say that was probably the most jarring part. While like emotional, and you're like, oh, man, like, and you get chills. It was weird, and that was probably my only complaint with the episode is that it just like And I know even though I've said, man, I really don't want it to be Luke Skywalker, when I saw it, I'm like, here we go.
Luke takes Grogu, and we're left with a lot of unknowns. Bo-Katan and Mando, they're probably going to scrap next season.
It just leaves you. Oh, he hands
Yeah.
over Grogu. They have a moment, takes off the helmet.
The tear doesn't come out of the eye, but it's hanging
It's
out.
there.
It's hanging.
One single dad tear
Yep.
just sitting there. And you're like, dang it, you get out of here.
So that's what happens, and then we get a post-credit scene of Boba Fett finally getting some revenge on Jabba the Hutt's group.
And he's like big and fat, probably becoming the next Jabba. And he just comes in and just murders them. and takes the throne.
Just so much. But the main point I want to talk about is the implications of Grogu going with Luke is that he is going to be there for his second purge of the Jedi. Because as we know, Ben Solo went insane and killed everyone but Luke.
Yeah.
So does that mean Grogu escapes another siege? Or does Grogu die at the hands of Ben Solo? Which makes things insane.
I mean, fans immediately went to that point. Oh, he probably is killed. But I don't like to think like that. So hopefully he gets trained and leaves. But we have this like moment, this somewhat not reset of like back to status quo, but like they're like really separated, Mando and Grogu, and that's what's crazy is that like the show is so like now they're so confident. It's like, okay, we know what we've got. We don't have to keep them together because it'll be better when they're apart. That Mando just can't get back to normal, and that's what I think I'm most excited about. That like, yeah, it's cool to see Luke. It's cool, knowing that him and Bo-Katan are probably gonna like fight, but knowing that like nothing will ever be the same. But now Mando's back to square one. Like that's what I love, and it's just Pedro Pascal just kills it for me. Like he just nails. I don't know how much he's in the suit, but he's just been a rock star.
It's like when a parent finally sees their kid go off to college. It's like you're proud of them, but you also don't want them to leave.
And knowing that like they have that connection because Luke's like, you have to give him permission to go. He wants your permission, and that like, man,
tough stuff. Especially when you're a single parent. Any single parent watching that can totally feel that.
I mean, I'm not a single parent, and I was getting emotional around people, and I was like, I've got to pull it together.
Lock it up. Moff Gideon's still alive, so he's probably going to do some more nefarious stuff next season. Do we have any predictions for next season other than the things we've already mentioned?
I think he has to go to Moff Gideon Hannibal Lecter style and almost like do a deal. Okay, well, I mean, you're going to come with us, or maybe not come with us, but you're going to help us to do something. I don't know what that something is. Yeah. I also think we're going to get more clone stuff. That's very heavily implied that, like, this is probably how Palpatine comes back. But I think a lot of it, though, is they've just announced so many new shows that it's hard to tell what's going to be in what. Like, Boba Fett's going to have his own thing. I'm sure he'll run into Boba Fett again, but, like, Boba's going to have his thing, and, like, Ahsoka's going to have her thing, and, like, Cara Dune's probably going to have her thing. And it's, like, it'll just be interesting knowing that, okay, they have to save some stuff for those shows. So I think we're going to be trekking whole new, like, ground at this point.
It might go the way of, like, Marvel's The Defenders on Netflix, where we don't get Mandalorian season 3 next. We just get, like, Ahsoka or Boba Fett, and it's sort of a through line. Which I hope that's what they do, because there's no way I can watch all of these Star Wars shows because I don't care about these characters.
I was like, oh no, what are we going to do when it's like every other month there's a new Star Wars show and a Marvel show in between all this? And I'm like, it's impossible.
I don't have enough time for that much content.
I don't have enough brain space for that much content.
I have to push out all of my Attitude Era wrestling out of my brain just to remember everything about Star Wars.
Don't do that. Don't give up. Don't give that up.
I can't. Well, I can give up. I could probably give up about 70% of it.
Okay. Well, that's all right. That's
as long as I keep Stone Cold and The Rock and some weird stuff, I'll be okay.
Hey, perfect. Guys, it's just been a journey, and thank you for taking it with us. This is the way, maybe.
This is the way, maybe not. Actually, turn around. Un esercito
vincitori pronti